Artists over at Mob Entertainment who have been working on Poppy Playtime have been sharing their concept art for Chapter 3, and last year, we got an exclusive treat from Mob with a video showcasing all the concept art for the first 2 chapters. I'm obsessed with concept art, as it's something I've always wanted to do, and I wanted to know more about the art that goes into creating a game of this magnitude. I was blessed when I had the opportunity to ask one of the lead artists over at Mob a few questions about the design process of some of the characters. Our wonderful community manager Tyler sent my questions over to Avalon Delaney, lead 2D artist for Poppy Playtime. Avalon is also a talented voice actress, voicing many characters for Chapter 3, Miss Delight,
CatNap wouldn't like that you're here.
Hoppy Hopscotch,
I'm Hoppy Hopscotch! Wanna try hopping to the moon with me?
Bobby Bearhug,
Hi, I'm Bobby Bearhug! Wanna know how much I love you?
CraftyCorn,
You're hiding more red from me. I know you are.
and Candy Cat.
Click the button to feed me candy. Nom nom. Give me more.
With all that said, let's jump into it. The first question I asked: did you anticipate Huggy would become the most popular and iconic character? We were proud of him when we came up with him. Our team hoped that Huggy in Chapter 1 would be a success, but I can assure you that no one expected that Huggy and the Poppy Playtime franchise would boom this much in popularity, as Chapter 1 was very experimental for us and was the first game we had ever made together. Funnily enough, a lot of us felt like Catbee would become more popular as a toy concept at first. The next question I asked: was Huggy's design easy, or did he have to go through a lot of changes before he became the floppy blue wonder we know today? Avalon responded that, honestly, Huggy's design process did not go through much iteration. Our team seemed to know exactly what we wanted after starting his concept phase. I wanted to follow up with, being the most iconic character, what was the design process like for Huggy? His concept started when our CEO created a crude doodle of Huggy on a whiteboard as this floppy anthropomorphic creature. The task to flesh his toy design out was then given to a freelance artist, and they came back with a bunch of cute drawings of Huggy with an IE. The only tweaks from there was his name changing to Huggy with a Y, as well as his head shape was changed to what it is today, before being more of a simple fluffed out circle shape. Then the designs were given to me to come up with his horror-faced form. I started out with 4 different scary faces for review. It was looked at, and instantly everyone pointed to the same face as the one they wanted to go with, which is the scary face of Huggy that exists today. An opened mouth with 2 rows full of jagged teeth. Lastly, I created the cartoon Huggy that would go on to be part of the posters and Playtime promotional material in-game. I next asked, of the characters that have been revealed publicly to the community, which one was the hardest to design? Avalon responded that CatNap definitely had to be the longest iteration process out of every character in the Poppy Playtime franchise, taking a full year until we finally came to an agreement on his design. This was because the reviewers of the character were constantly busy at the time of Project Playtime's creation and release, as well as they did not know what they were looking for with this next monster at all. Even after we signed off on his design, there were a couple reviewers who were not confident and proud of the final design of the Chapter 3 monster. However, CatNap had plenty of good feedback when he was revealed to the public, and I'm glad he did after all the hard work of iteration, or else I personally, the one who iterated on him for a year, would have cried. If I may ask, does the name come first, or the abilities, or does the concept art come first? Avalon replies, abilities and mechanics of our characters generally come first so we can make sure our character has unique use in our game. As an example, we knew we wanted Boxy Boo to be a toy based on jumping or being a wind-up type of toy first before we knew he was going to be a Jack-in-the-Box inspired looking toy. Concept and design comes second, which is the hardest part as we need to make sure that our characters can balance being cute and lovable looking, as well as having the ability to look terrifying when needed. Then, finally, the name comes last, as the name is inspired by the toy's final design or ability. Jumping back to chapter 2, I had to ask this. Mommy Longlegs went through a lot of changes. What challenges did you face while designing her? Avalon replied, "We knew we wanted her limbs to extend as part of her design, but we were having a hard time figuring out a believable way to integrate that ability into her design. In one of my previous designs, her limbs grew like an extendable TV walkie-talkie antenna. The problem with this design was that her limbs would not be able to twist and would be more stiff this way. In the end, we ended up coming up with the solution of elastic plastic, a Playtime co-created substance as our answer to having her limbs extend and be able to twist about in a believable way." There's a lot of horror that goes into designing these creatures, right? So I had to know, what horror artists, games, movies do you draw inspiration from when designing the characters we have seen so far? Avalon had told me that, funny enough, I did not watch a lot of horror movies at all when I started out concepting. I get scared easily. The only horror games I'd played prior to Chapter 1 coming into fruition had been Five Nights at Freddy's 1 and Slender Man on my phone while in high school. So most of my concepts I've made for the chapters came from just what I personally found scary. Side note from Avalon, though there was definitely inspiration that came from monster sounds and music, but I can't speak on those personally since I wasn't a part of creating those. My last question was, if you could have an exact replica of any toy from the game, which one would it be? Avalon replies, "Oh boy, that's hard. I want the smiling critters. All of them. If that's cheating, then just CatNap. My next choices would have been Mommy Longlegs and then next BoogieBot." I want to thank both Tyler and Avalon for this interview. It means the most to me. I love this kind of information. It's so cool learning how all this hard work went into designing these characters. I mean, CatNap took over a year to finally just confirm and just design. It's so cool. I'm at a loss for words. I'm stuttering here. So again, thank you so much, Tyler. Thank you so much, Avalon, for all your hard work. We love your designs. CatNap is a smash hit. We love Huggy Wuggy so much. He is an icon. You are so amazing and talented. Thank you so much, everyone. If you want to keep up with Avalon, go ahead and follow her on Twitter. She goes by Cosmic Cosmo. That is at Cosmic Cosmo YT. I will go ahead and put that link here in the video and of course in the description. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that little behind the scenes look of some of our favorite characters of Poppy Playtime. And as always, I'll see you all in the next video.